Imagine this moment right here, right now. Imagine this is your last breath before Ramadan arrives. Not in a dramatic way, just the last breath you ever take. Would you be ready? I don't mean ready with your groceries or your prayer space. I mean ready, the kind of ready that matters when everything else falls away. Here's what nobody wants to say out loud. Ramadan 2026 is just 5 weeks away. February 18th, it's coming. And millions of Muslims will prepare their stomachs for fasting while completely forgetting to prepare something far more important. Their hearts. And some of us watching this right now won't make it there. That's not meant to scare you. That's meant to wake you up. Let me tell you something that's hard to say. Last year, Ramadan 2025 came. Millions of Muslims opened their fast at sunset. They sat with their families. They felt that spiritual connection they'd been waiting for all year. Some of them made du'as, asking Allah to let them reach next Ramadan. You know what happened to some of them? They didn't make it. Not all of them, but some. The young ones you wouldn't expect, the healthy ones, the ones who had plans, who had dreams for next year. And Ramadan 2026, it came without them. Here's the hadith that nobody quotes at family dinners. The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, said, "Whoever reaches Ramadan and does not have their sins forgiven, may Allah distance them from mercy." But there's another reality underneath that. It's this simple, devastating truth from the Quran. Every soul will taste death. Not maybe, not possibly, will. And Ramadan comes once a year. It's not guaranteed. Think about that for a second. You could be watching this video, making plans for Ramadan in 5 weeks, and statistically, you might not be fasting then. You might not be breathing then. This isn't pessimism. This is honesty. Most Muslims walk around as if they're going to live forever. We plan for retirement. We save for houses. We worry about next year's career. And I'm not saying don't do those things. But ask yourself, when was the last time you planned with the same intensity for not being here? Let me paint you 2 pictures, both true, both real. Picture 1, a Muslim woman. Let's call her Amina. She's 34, works a good job, loves her family. Every year, she waits for Ramadan. She tells herself, "This Ramadan, I'm going to change. This Ramadan, I'm really going to connect with Allah." But here's the thing, she says it every year. And every year, by day 3 of Ramadan, she's back to her patterns, scrolling instead of reading Quran. Tired from work instead of energized by worship. By the end, she thinks, there's always next year. Now, picture 2. A man named Omar. Same age, similar life. Same job stress, same family drama. Same habits, same patterns. But Omar did something different this month. Not today, not tomorrow, this month. He started small. He set his phone across the room at night. He read 5 verses of Quran every morning for no reason except that he knew his time was limited. He cleaned his heart a little. He forgave someone he'd been angry with for 2 years. You know what happened to Omar last Tuesday? Heart attack. He didn't survive it. But here's the thing, and this is what kills me. His family, his friends, everyone who knew him, they all said the same thing. At least he was in a good place spiritually. At least he died while trying to get closer to Allah. Amina lived. Omar didn't. But Omar was ready. Do you see the difference? It's not about reaching Ramadan. It's about who you are when Ramadan comes or doesn't. One of them played a game with time, as if time was infinite. The other one woke up. And I'm not telling you this to depress you. I'm telling you this because most of us are playing Amina's game. Here's what the scholars call it, Tathkir al-mawt, remembrance of death. And in Islam, it's not some dark, morbid obsession. It's actually prescribed medicine. The Prophet, peace be upon him, said something that changes everything if you actually let it land. Remember death in your prayer, because when you remember death, you perfect your prayer. Think about what that means. Death isn't a distraction from life. Death is the catalyst that makes life meaningful. When you remember, you might not reach Ramadan, really remember it. Feel it suddenly. Your next prayer isn't just a ritual, it's significant. Your Quran recitation isn't an obligation, it's precious. Your kindness to your parents isn't something to do when you have time, it's urgent. But here's what happens for most of us. We know these facts intellectually. We've heard the hadith. We know the statistics. Someone dies and we say, "May Allah have mercy on them." And then by evening, we're back to scrolling and complaining and pushing off what matters. The knowledge is there, but we don't feel it. And that gap between knowing and feeling, that's where most of us live our entire lives. It's like standing in front of a cliff, knowing intellectually that falling would hurt, but continuing to dance at the edge because it doesn't feel real. Ramadan 2026 might not be real for you. You might not make it. And I know that's hard to sit with, but what if that uncertainty is actually a gift? What if that 5 weeks, these 5 weeks, is time to shift from knowing to becoming? Okay, so you're watching this and you're feeling it. Good. But feeling something and doing something are completely different. So here's what changes when you accept this reality. There are 3 things. First, your now becomes sacred. Not someday, not when Ramadan comes, not when I'm older and wiser. Your now, this conversation you're having, this breath you're taking, that one surah you could read today, that person you could forgive today, that's no longer optional. It's emergency action. Second, you stop waiting for perfect circumstances. You know what kills spiritual growth? Waiting. Waiting for Ramadan to start connecting with Allah. Waiting until you're less busy to pray with concentration. Waiting until you're older to think about the hereafter. But what if Ramadan never comes for you? What if you never get less busy? The Prophet, peace be upon him, said, don't delay. Not because Allah is impatient, because you're running out of time and you don't even know it. Third, your priorities actually change, not in theory, in practice. You know how you can tell if someone really believes they might not reach Ramadan? Watch where they spend their time. Watch what they worry about. Watch what they protect. If you truly believed Ramadan might not come for you, would you spend 3 hours today on that argument on social media? Would you delay making that apology? Would you skip the extra rak'ahs? I don't think so. Here's what I want you to do, and this is specific these next 5 weeks before Ramadan. Do one thing daily that you would do if you were absolutely certain you wouldn't reach Ramadan. Just one. Read an extra page of Quran. Make one sincere dua. Have one real conversation with a family member instead of just being present on your phone. Send a message to someone you hurt. Spend time in prayer without rushing. One thing, every day. Not because it's Ramadan, but because it might be your last month. And I promise, Ramadan will mean something completely different to you if you actually live this way. You came here looking for a video about Ramadan. But Ramadan is just a window. The real question isn't, will I reach Ramadan 2026? The real question is, who am I becoming before Ramadan comes? Because here's the truth nobody says out loud. The people who get the most out of Ramadan aren't the ones who suddenly wake up on February 18th and decide to be spiritual. They're the ones who woke up before it arrived. They're the ones who understood that every day before Ramadan is a gift they're using to prepare. Your life isn't a waiting room before Ramadan starts. Your life is Ramadan. Right now, today, this moment. The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, used to make a dua. He would say, "O Allah, allow us to reach Ramadan. Bless us in Rajab and Shaban and bring us to Ramadan." He understood something we forget. Reaching Ramadan isn't just about time passing. It's about becoming someone worthy of reaching it. So here's my question for you. Starting today, not tomorrow, not next month, what is one way you're going to live differently, knowing that Ramadan isn't guaranteed? Write it down. Say it out loud. Make a commitment. Because 5 weeks from now, Ramadan will either find you ready or it will find you the same. And the choice right now is yours. May Allah grant us wisdom to see that this life is fleeting. May He soften our hearts, and may He allow us to reach Ramadan, not just with our bodies, but with transformed souls. If you found this helpful, watch it again, share it, but most importantly, live it. Your next moment is never guaranteed. Make it count.